Hekawt is a Region 2 world boss on Monumenta. Its arena is located to the west of Malta, and the players could participate after beating the city of Shifting Waters. The fight consists of 4 phases. Unlike other bosses, Hekawt doesn't chase the players and instead teleports around the arena and uses a variety of abilities. There are several passive abilities that Hekawt has throughout the fight. Hekawt has a shield that neutralizes any attack from too far away. This is told to the attacker via a chat message. Hekawt will fire projectiles called the Death Bolts at players every few seconds. When a player is nearby, Hekawt will attack in a 3-block cone in the player's direction, dealing damage and knocking players back. If a player dies during a fight, he will turn into an elite with the same equipment and one custom ability depending on a player's class. Going higher than 10 blocks above the ground will blind and damage the player. Phase 1 has multiple easy abilities that are easy to avoid. Let's start with the ability called Dimensional Door. Hekawt opens large portals below players, which last for about 30 seconds. Players who jump into the portals are sent to the Shadow Realm. In the center of it is the phylactery, which players have to destroy to be able to kill Hekawt. When player enters the Shadow Realm, a clone is summoned on the opposite side of the arena. Player has 20 seconds to kill the clone, otherwise he would die. You could help others by damaging their clones, but be careful to not kill them too early. Raise Dead. This ability summons different enemies across the arena. It is available on all phases, and the mobs are constantly summoned during phase 4. Grasping Hands. This ability is used in first 3 phases. A ring of particles will appear below select players, following their movement. These rings will stop following their players 1 second before the cast starts, in which they will stay in place. Once the cast begins, players who go in will be damaged and given negative effects. Additionally, the rings will heal any mob that comes through them. Soul Shackle. This ability is used in first 3 phases. Hekawt will release multiple shulker bullets. If a player is hit by one of them, Hekawt will chain them to their current position. Chained players cannot leave the ring, or they will get damaged and knocked back towards it. The chain duration is about 5 seconds. Salient of Decay. This ability is only used in phase 1. Hekawt will charge up turquoise lasers aimed at players. When cast is finished, this will damage and inflict players with the high potency of Wither effect. Salient cannot travel through blocks. After reaching 66% health, second phase starts, and 8 end crystals will appear on pillars around the arena. Crystals get 1 shield if there are at least 5 players alive, and 2 shields if there are more than 10 players alive. Crystals, as well as their shields, can be destroyed with an arrow, trident or a snowball. However, it is better to use a bow with high projectile speed like LF from Teal. On this phase, Hekawt gains another passive ability, which summons end crystals on pillars around the arena, at a rate based on the amount of alive players. Hekawt gets another active ability, Dice Array. Hekawt will teleport in the center and spawn 4 end crystals on the pillars in addition to existing ones. Players have about 7 seconds to destroy all crystals. If players fail to do so, Hekawt will deal damage to everyone in the arena and heal based on the amount of crystals. Damage dealt is percentage of players' health, 20% health for each crystal. Additionally, it gives players slowness, reduced damage, and disables healing for 5 seconds for each crystal. The damage and effects from this ability do not apply to players in the Shadow Realm. After reaching 33% health, third phase starts. During phase change, Hekawt will push all players away from the center, so stay away from the edges of the arena. On this phase, Hekawt gains multiple new abilities. At 30 and 20% health, he will summon 2 horse-riding mobs. These mobs each have a different ability, similar to the Headless Horseman. Explosive drones, which summons multiple bees that explode after a few seconds, dealing damage. Sinister Reach, a melee attack similar to Hekawt's cone attack. It deals damage and knocks players back. Hellzone Grenades. Horsemen will throw pumpkin bombs that explode on impact, leaving a ring of fire that damages and ignites players. Burning Vengeance. Horseman spawns a large flaming ring around him that closes in, playing the xylophone sound. Players caught in the ring are pulled in and ignited. When the ring fully closes in, nearby players take massive damage and are knocked away. You can escape the ring by simply jumping over the edge. Additionally, getting hit by any of the horseman's attacks will make all other nearby mobs attack you. Hekawt gains ability Dark Omen. He will fire 4 flaming blades in a plus shape from himself. These deal damage to players and, on hit with a player or a block, will spawn multiple glowing vexes. These vexes inflict curse on players. Cursed players take double damage, and curse can be removed by going into the Shadow Realm, or it will be lifted in 2 minutes. Desecrate. A ring of particles will close in on Hekawt. When fully closed in, all players within the starting size of the ring will be silenced and rooted to the ground. Then the ring will begin to expand again, dealing a massive damage to players on hit. When you hear this ability, run away from Hekawt as fast as you can. Gravity Well. A large yellow ring is placed at a random player, and after a few seconds it will start pulling players towards the center and dealing high amounts of damage to players inside. It is a very dangerous ability, and it is easier to escape with speed gear or movement abilities. If Hekawt runs out of health while Phylactery is still alive, he will endlessly go back to 15% of his health. Since Ferret Face is more dangerous, and player's ability to damage Phylactery is limited by the dimensional door, you should try to kill it as soon as possible. However, if the Phylactery is destroyed, Hekawt will die and the Phase 4 will start. Hekawt revives using the power of the Veil, teleports to the center of arena and creates a damaging aura around him. He no longer can be damaged with normal attacks or abilities. He also loses all previous abilities except for Death Bolt, which now travels through blocks. Players have to kill Hekawt in 200 seconds before their souls dissipate. To damage Hekawt, players have to destroy the crystals in 4 bigger towers. They appear after you successfully destroy the crystals on smaller towers, which appear in a similar way to Dice Array. However, if players fail to destroy the crystals in smaller towers, they create multiple blue damaging pools on the ground. The lower crystals in big towers are covered by blocks, so it is better for you to destroy these blocks at the beginning of a phase. The higher crystals are protected from below by the glass, so it is much easier to hit them from further away. In this phase, Hekawt can target multiple players with a death laser. On direct hit, it deals massive damage, applies heavy knockback and curses the player. Laser could be avoided by hiding behind blocks. Hekawt also gets an ability, Malekith's Dynamo, which drops magma bombs on the upper platforms, dealing 100% of players' health on direct hit. You can avoid it by not going to these platforms. If the crystals in all 4 big towers have been destroyed in time, Hekawt finally dies, and players receive their rewards. Extra tips. If Hekawt does not take damage for a while, he will teleport to the tall platforms, which makes him harder to reach for melee players. You can counter that by breaking the platforms at the start of the fight. While Hekawt can't move like other mobs, he still can hit you in melee for about 40 damage if you get too close. Damage from Dice Array does not account for your absorption health, so you can use potions to survive damage from 5 or even 6 crystals. At phase 4, some players prefer to hide behind a wall. While this is generally safer, it really limits your ability to contribute to the fight by shooting the crystals. Since crystals get 1 shield for every 5 players, the optimal size of a team is 4 or 9 players. And this is it. Big thanks to the editors of the Monumenta wiki for gathering a lot of the information on the boss. Thank you for watching and good luck in the fight.